Welcome back to another episode of Projecting Grandeur. I am your host, Ron Dichter, and I'm excited to be here. Thanks for tuning in. Today I want to talk about vulnerability. For some reason, people feel like there's two extremes to this. Either one, it is not okay to be vulnerable, and you have to have this surface level toughness that the outside world views you as and believes that you can't show any signs of weakness. And I think the term weakness and vulnerability often get mixed together, which I'm going to bounce back to here in a second, but I think those are very distinctly different words. And then the other extreme of vulnerability is that you feel like you have to share everything, and everything is an emotional outcry about your life. And like somewhere along the lines, and I don't know if it was during COVID or somewhere, like we've had this polarized way of looking at vulnerability. You either share nothing and you have this just ice heart toughness, that nobody can see that there's anything wrong, or you go the other extreme where everything is woe is me and look at all these things that I'm dealing with in my life. And that is not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is having, the willingness and the comfort in your own skin to allow vulnerability to help shape who you are, help shape decisions you make, and frankly, help shape you as a leader. We often hear the word vulnerable and we think that that's a weakness. And I don't know where vulnerability and weakness got mixed up as the same thing, because everyone is vulnerable. Everyone, has these moments where, they're either unsure of themselves or they're questioning a decision, and having the mental clarity to be able to understand, recognize, and be able to use that vulnerability as a way of just being honest and talking with your team, customers, self, about what you're experiencing. Like, that's a really important part about decision making and leadership. And I believe that being vulnerable is a really strong quality, and I think it helps to really have your team and your company and your prospective customers really rally around your mission when your vulnerability allows you to just have that moment of reflection and honesty and even uncertainty as you kind of embark upon whatever it is you're doing. And the other extreme on there, I talked about where everybody feels like you have to tell everybody everything. Like, there's a difference of being vulnerable and manufacturing vulnerable. Like, it can't be something that is part of your strategy. Like, you can't say, okay, today, at 11 o'clock, I'm going to have this vulnerability thing that's going to come out, and I'm going to be in a meeting, and I'm going to all of a sudden have this like moment of reflection where I'm going to kind of self-doubt. Like, that's not how it works. Like, vulnerability is an organic, real, visceral reaction to whatever it is you're doing, and it's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with having that moment where you're unsure and you kind of talk out loud with your team, with yourself, with your prospective customers about whatever it is you're trying to kind of process. And I think we're all human, and in a world of AI and social media where you only see like this perfect version of what's happening in somebody's life, like, that's not real. And the moment you recognize that that isn't real, and you recognize that it's okay, we're all human, we're all processing life as it comes at us, and a lot of times we don't know how to handle something, and that's okay. Like, that is part of the process. And so I really urge anyone out there that feels like they have to have this, toughness. And social media is terrible about this, because especially if you're in the fitness space, like, there's so many alpha bro and alpha broettes out there that, show like this perfect, hard, I'm badass kind of a thing. And like, come on. Like, is that really like how these people live all the time? Or is that just this persona that they're trying to put out there, that they have this, strong, alpha mentality and nothing gets under my skin? I mean, come on. Like, that's just not real. We all have moments of breakdown, and stop hiding from them and start recognizing them as a strength and start recognizing them as an opportunity to grow. And I think that you'll find that vulnerability will really become an asset instead of a liability for you. And if you're on that other extreme where you think vulnerability, you're using it almost overtly as a way to become your own persona. You're kind of the inverse of the alpha bro. You know, you're trying to use this, like, I share everything, look at me, you know, let's process together, like, to the other extreme. So again, be you. Don't manufacture a fake version of yourself. Just be genuine, be honest, and allow vulnerability to be just part of the process, and don't shy away from it. So, hope you find this helpful. Again, quick one today. Just wanted to talk about something that I think, you know, doesn't get talked about enough, but obviously everybody encounters it. So, go out there, be genuine, be yourself. Don't shy away from moments of vulnerability, and become the best version of yourself. Have a good day.